Some of these listener questions are off the wall crazy.
We're on a mission to rid the world of bad video.
Bye-bye.
This is the DV Show.
Target in range.
Bad video sucks.
Welcome to this edition of the DV Show podcast. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining us. Yes, we are on a mission to rid this world of bad video. And this week, we're going back to our roots and what we started on 16 years ago, answering listener questions related to digital video production. This is our way of helping you create better video. But this time, we have an entire team of professionals from all over the country that's going to take part in answering some of the questions on today's podcast. They're taking part in the discussion thanks to social audio apps. So this is going to be a really, really interesting podcast because we know the entire video production process is not for everyone. It can easily become overwhelming, time-consuming, intimidating, technical, and all you really want to do is create a video that works for you, right? So the options are daunting, and that's why we are here. So if it's about video marketing, videos for your business, what's the easiest software and equipment to get it all done quick, creative, technical, business, this is the podcast to listen to. Our website and a team of seasoned professionals are all available right now to help enable you to create a strategy and videos that get results. When you listen to this podcast and visit our website, you save hours of time and money with our advice because we know what works and what doesn't when it comes to video production. All right. So with all of that said, let's take our first listener question.
James asks, I am getting started in using video to market my products and try to achieve some level of success. Any tips on how to get clients, how to get the leads when you already have the videos made? Thanks.
Now, James, this is a really great question, and we actually have a course on it on the dvshow.com. If you click on workshop, you'll find there it's the generate leads workshop. And in that workshop, you get all kinds of information and tips and tricks on how to get leads for your business. But I will tell you some free things to start with so that you can get success with video marketing. I mean, it sounds like you're on the right track using video because it is really effective if you want to generate a substantial number of eyeballs. So for the podcast, let me give you 3 techniques that will instantly prove to be worthwhile. Number 1 is the videos that you have, start recording yourself with the videos in emails. It's really time to stop with the textual emails. Text emails aren't good enough. Video is powerful. We know that. Record yourself with a screen and webcam recorder extension that directly fits into your email client. And this way you can communicate with your body language and tone of voice. And that increases the quality of the message by 400%. And you would be getting some sales. It's also about including yourself. It gets more personal. So number 2 is to the point and original video content. Now, us here at the DV Show, we see a lot of video content online, and more than 90% of it goes unnoticed. But did you know that the top 10% of the videos take up 60% of the viewing time? Yes, now you may get paranoid or even anxious when I say original content, because we feel there are smarter brains in the world who are already doing what you do and doing it even better. And that is wrong. Now with the internet and all of these online tools, you have an opportunity to coexist. Your personality, your reach will always be different. And if you're able to be original and not shoot for perfect, you will succeed. Now, you want to also invest in some video testimonials. This is really strong for your business. Do you have customers who enjoy your product or service? Call them. Ask for a video testimonial, something that they can quickly talk about in 30 seconds and can make it on their phones. And this will prove to be the number 1 factor new prospects look at before they invest in your company.
Kevin asks, I run outdoor shows in New York City at night and want to start filming them with a 2-camera setup on tripods. I own a Canon M50 and am happy with the results. Wondering if I should just buy the same camera or is there another better at shooting outside, in low-light situations at the same price point. Would also be nice if I were able to get around the 30-minute recording limit.
Now, Kevin, for outdoor shooting without a record limit, check out the Sony a6400. But if the M50 is working great, it makes sense to get another, which has an easy lens and a battery swap. And if you're familiar with the controls, maybe there are good used deals. Have limited Canon experience, but can say from personal testing that an A6100 or an A6600, they're both very capable in low light. Also, the M50 versus the A6400 in low light comparison by another YouTuber is also really good, and I hope that helps. And remember, it's hard and sometimes not possible to match colors from different brands of camera manufacturers, so make sure to test your setup before you buy.
Michelle asks, I'm new to video marketing and trying to build out a plan for my company. I understand how valuable video content is, but it requires serious editing skills. It was said that one should focus on where one's natural strength lies. For me, written content comes much easier. Would you try to do a little bit of both? Or focus on what is easier for you to create?
Great question, Michelle. And the first thing that comes to mind is do what you will do consistently over time. Now, the thing most people fail at in content marketing is consistency. So if you're better at writing, start there. If you prefer to create video, go that route. With today's tools, it's not hard with a little practice. Now, the other half of the equation is considering what your audience wants. I only mention this as a secondary because at this point, most markets have both people who prefer video and those who like reading. So ideally, we would like to be putting out content in both forms at scale. I'd say it's a mix in terms of what our prospects consume, and some like video, some prefer to read an article. Now, as far as your comment on editing, there's a common misconception among first-time content creators that making videos requires serious editing skills. I don't agree with this. I mean, starting out, you want to go really, really slow. Start crawling before you walk. So go with slideshow videos to start with. Take your written content, arrange it out in a PowerPoint deck. There are some tools out there that actually can create text into videos that are somewhat interesting. You can add some free music, export the video, and you have content which you can share in video and SlideShare formats. It's useful for social media like Instagram and LinkedIn. Start with that first and work your way up, because both have their advantages and disadvantages, but you could also consider optimizing your content to translate between the two formats, written and video. And again, start out small by breaking up a video into 30 to 60-second highlights to show the social media audiences what value you could provide in your videos. It's all about just showing value. It could be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Make it interesting, but again, it's all about showing value.
Stumped? Need advice? Or just looking for tips and techniques related to digital video? Visit thedvshow.com.
Opening the download vault now.
All right, this is the download vault, and we're back. And this is where we give you links to free software, cool tools, amazing discounts exclusively to you, the DV Show listener. Every product, service, or software that we mention is handpicked and guaranteed to make your video production workflow easier and even faster. Now, these links and deals are only for you, but you have to sign up on thedvshow.com to get the goods. And as always, we have two cool tools to introduce today. Number one is Annotate.tv. Now, with this product, you can capture the most important takeaways from any video by taking time-stamped notes. You can share them with your peers, access them from anywhere in the world, and keep coming back to build your own information library. You can add notes and timestamps to your videos. How cool is this? Annotate.tv allows the user to annotate and put notes even on YouTube videos. You can put timestamps in so you don't lose where a particular quote is. I mean, this is amazing for teachers, for editors. It's the best thing about this website is that it's absolutely free to use. So, but if you want to unlock some features to experience the full capacity, they do have a premium option that's for a small fee. All right. Number 2 is pretty much similar to what, Annotate TV does, but I personally use this for a training video. And if you take a look at it, it's on thedvshow.com. It's called Timelinely. Now, this is your ability to share your YouTube videos your own way. I mean, let's face it, anyone can just share a YouTube video, but with Timelinely, you can share a YouTube video the way you want it to be seen with your perspective. So you grab a YouTube video, you grab the link, paste it into Timelinely, and you're off. It makes it incredibly easy for you to drop in any URL. You can play it, pause it, make a comment, mark it in, mark it out. You can highlight interesting or important moments in the video, type it out, take photos, react, and explain what's going on. Really, really cool stuff. It's a great collaboration tool, Timelinely. Now, both of these tools are absolutely free, and here's how you can get them.
Ready to make your video production workflow faster and easier? Get access to these time-saving products and services on the dvshow.com's website, where you will find special links, free downloads, and special discounts on all of the great tools we mention on this podcast. Go to our website to create your own free account to learn more. Go to thedvshow.com for more details.
This is Arav. I am so happy to hear the DV Show on the JioSaavn podcast platform, a one-of-a-kind podcast about video production. This will help my business in India. I am learning so much.
So we just submitted the DV Show podcast to the JioSaavn platform, which is a podcast network in India larger than Apple Podcasts here in the US. So we are now serving the people of India with video production tips, tricks, and techniques. We saw a significant increase in downloads of this podcast. Thank you for joining us and welcome aboard as we are here for you with any video production related questions during the COVID-19 challenge your country is undergoing right now.
Benny asks, I'm trying to record testimonial videos for clients remotely. What is the best way to do this? And how hard is it? There is no other way we can think of due to the pandemic.
So thanks for your question, Anne. We invited Sam Shepler, CEO of TestimonialHero.com. His company is a full-time video production company who specializes in easily creating stunning testimonial videos. Sam is neck deep in the process during the pandemic. So what better person to tell us about the workflow?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we like to say, we turn, average Joes into video pros, just, over the webcam, basically.
Oh, I'm going to steal that from you.
Absolutely. Go by all means. And so, actually we talk with them over the webcam, but we're actually capturing with the best camera that everyone has on them, which is, of course, their cell phone, right? That's the, much higher quality, doesn't rely on, internet. So we are, on a remote testimonial, it's typically, we have one of our producers will have 30 minutes with this testifying customer. And, the first 5 or 10 minutes, our producer will walk them through it, turn them into a video pro, get them set up, make sure, the angle is correct, make sure the lighting's great, make sure we're sounding good. And then after that, we sort of, roll the interview just like we're doing here, but we're actually recording on their phone. And that is, in my experience, the key to the highest quality is, you got to use the best camera that most people have, which is absolutely their cell phone. I mean, the cell phone is like typically like a, almost like what, like $1,000, piece of like engineering, like marvel, like a computer in our pocket. So
yeah,
it's
the pixels are crazy.
It is, and they get better every year. So that's what we record.
That's awesome. And how hard is that? How is it easy? Is it hard? What's the results? I mean, you're like right smack dab in the middle of remote video production right now. Yeah. Is it hard? Is it easy? What? I
mean, I think it's definitely hard. We have like, myself, I have a background in production. So like, I think if I just decided, if I didn't have, 10 years of production background, it would be a lot harder. it's not, it all makes sense to us because, we are a team of video production folks. I think, I'm trying to think of like the hardest part. I think maybe the hardest part is just everyone's space is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, no house, no house or no office is the same. And you really, you have to get good at, quickly mitigating, the potential issues. Well, because you also have to be very respectful of the testifying individual's time.
Right.
Because they're not, the client, right? They are just doing their client a favor. So it's like really important. And that's something that really matters to us is like, giving them a good experience because ultimately they're doing their customer a favor. So yeah, is it hard? Yes. Is it doable? Absolutely.
Sam, thanks for coming on the DV Show podcast to answer Annie's question. Now, we actually have a 30-minute video interview with Sam to talk about the importance of testimonial videos. We get into a lot of detail. It's a video. Check it out on thedvshow.com.
Steve asks, what's the best camera to buy for around $900? I'm looking to upgrade from my Panasonic Lumix FC300 to something of a higher quality. I shoot mostly in 120 frames per second, and my Lumix tends to lower the quality. So, I really want something that's good for 120 frames per second shooting and overall 4K video. I'm looking to spend no more than $900 for a body plus the lens. Any suggestions or tips I'd really appreciate it.
Now, here's my favorite part of the podcast, Steve, where we pop your question into the videographers group I'm a part of on one of the best social audio apps out there. It is a ton of fun, accelerated learning as I interact with video professionals from all over the world and pop your question in there to get some answers for your question, Steve. So we have Valentine. Valentine, what camera comes to your mind?
4K 120.
I think he's needing 4K and 120. So like maybe 120, 1080, and then 4K video.
Yep.
You're probably wanting a Sony.
Yeah, if you're doing 4K 120, then you're dropping into like, you can get almost anything nowadays for like in 1080p, but like 4K 120, like for that budget, you're going to be looking for a while.
I'm sorry. I think he needs 120 in general, and then he needs also a 4K camera. But if you are looking for a 4K 120 camera, the cheapest is going to be the A7S III, and that's like $3,500, to my knowledge. Or maybe the Z-Cams. I think the Z-Cams might do that, but they're going to be $1,500 for their 4K 120 camera. But if I would look at the Sony A66, A64, A6100, that whole lineup. All of the Sony mirrorless have a 4K 30 mode, 4K 24, and then they have 1080, 120 with very little to no crop. They're pretty decent. I take a look at those.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 6300, A6300, Sony 6400. One of these, they don't come with a lens though, do they? They don't include the lens.
No. Well, you can get one with a lens, but like it's a kit. I would look at the 6400 with a lens kit, and you might be able to find, because I'm pretty sure it's an $800 camera, and you might be able to find like a $900 package, like with a 16 to 55. But you will not get a package with those specs for maybe the 6300. But there's so many little quirks with that camera that I would almost not recommend it.
Yeah, I'd say the 6400 is probably your best bet. It's probably a little bit more than 900, honestly. It's probably about 1200, 1300, that range. I don't know.
I have the 6400 and I got it used. I was lucky enough to get it used for $600.
That's right.
I'm looking.
I didn't think about used. Used, you'll get a little bit closer to that.
I'm looking right now at a Canon EOS M50 for $500, and it comes with a 15 to 45 millimeter lens. Now, this is a crop frame sensor, but it is a mirrorless camera, and it's one of Canon's newer ones. That's one that I suggest a lot of people that are wanting to get into videography. So the Canon M50 is a good choice for that as well.
Does that do 120 though? I haven't used it, but
it does not.
Yeah, it does. It does do 120 in HD and 1920 by 1080, but not in 4K. It does 4K and it does 120p, but It does not do 120p in 4K.
I'm fairly certain it only does 120 and 720 mode as far as I've used it, because I've used it for a while, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't do 1080 120.
So
I came in late. What's the price range?
900. So you could probably land a Panasonic GH5, I bet, used or even brand new for slightly above that or right in that ballpark these days. It's going to shoot 4K. If you drop down to HD, you can go 120. That would probably be my recommendation. Jordan, you got anything? Join the conversation slightly late.
It's hard to say.
But it sounds like it's pretty hard set on 900's the cap.
Yeah, I mean, GH5 is definitely, I mean, I had one for years.
Agreed.
It holds its value. It's really good. I'm sure there's one of the million Sonys out there that could also do it. I'm not too sure which one, but yeah, I'm not too sure besides that. It's hard to say. I mean, I'm selling a camera, but it's not in that range.
Yeah, GH5 is solid. They honestly, you can't go wrong with most of its specs, and it's going to cover you for most of what you need. If you're willing to go a little higher and you don't need 120, you could always go for the Pocket, but the GH5 is probably a safer choice.
Yeah, I'm looking at, I just did a quick search for a used GH5. I see one on KEH Camera right now for $1,100. So if you're willing to spend $200 more, you can get a camera that's going to last you about 5 years without feeling like you need to upgrade.
You should be able to get even cheaper than that. I mean, I sold a GH5, I want to say, last year. And I sold it with no lens, but like 5 batteries, a memory card, a mic. Like I threw in a few extra things, obviously, but I sold everything for like $950.
Well, that does it for another edition of the DV Show podcast. Keep in mind, this podcast is powered by you, the listener. Video production is not for everyone. It can easily become overwhelming, time-consuming, intimidating, and technical when all you want to do is create a video that works for you. The options are daunting, and that's why we're here. Now, if you haven't visited our website this week, take a look. Always keep in touch with us at thedvshow.com. You can get in touch with us on social media like Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And we will see you next week. Keep your questions coming in.
Video production just got easier. The DV Show.
Serious about creating better video? You're in the right place. Subscribe to our free online coaching service and expand your learning beyond our popular podcast.